Hi, this is John Hannon, founder and president of the World Hockey Institute. We're coming to you live tonight from our offices at the Northtown Center here in Amherst, New York. And we have a special guest tonight, Kevin Kerr. Kevin is a longtime Western New York hockey coach and fan and spectator and player in his early days. And just want to talk with Kevin a little bit about hockey parenting and about youth hockey and his experiences over the years. Kevin coached Patrick Kane longer than anybody else here in Western New York, for sure, and also was instrumental in the development of a number of players who have gone on to play Division I and pro hockey. So what we're here to talk about tonight is hockey parenting, I guess. You know, there's so many changes and people have gotten so much more competitive, and the stakes are higher, I guess, than ever, and we don't want to lose sight of developing the kids and helping them become better young men and better citizens and better hockey players. So what set Patrick Kane apart, would you say, as a player?
I think there's a couple. I think there's quite a lot of things. Number one, Patrick loved to play, just loved, and you can still see that he loves to play and compete, loves to score goals, likes to be the guy that can make the pretty pass and get the guy for the tap in front of the net, likes to be that guy. So he was driven, just liked to be at the rink, like he would come to the rink with his skates on, and he'd typically leave with the skates on because he was coming from somewhere else and going to somewhere else after one of my practices or games. So he just enjoyed being on the ice, enjoyed having the puck on his stick. So part of it was his drive and his work ethic, even as a young kid. Some of it was God-given abilities, I think. He's just got a sense about him. He had it as a 7- and 8-year-old, just a sense on the ice of where everything was happening and where the opportunities on the ice would be. So I think that's innate in a lot of ways. And I think equally important, all those things that he had going for him, because there's a lot of people that have those going for him, and kids in particular, and the ability to learn and develop. He had a pretty good support system. With his mom and dad, Pat and Donna. They were willing to make the sacrifices to get him from one rink to the other. I mean, some nights there'd be 2 or 3 things going on, clinics, practices. He wouldn't miss much. If there was an open skate or an open ice, they would get him there. So they were totally dedicated to him developing as a player and giving him the opportunities to do that. So I think that's a big piece of the puzzle as well. Yeah, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Pat and Donna Kane. Pat was one at the rink more than Donna, but Donna was there when Pat couldn't be there or get him there. I mean, obviously she was there for all the games and that, but Pat was always around the rink for the practices. And no, he was like very supportive and always wishing well and hoping the other kids did well on the team, and always supportive of the other kids. The kids loved him. He was always, Pat was always real good to the other kids in the team. I know my son was a goaltender. One day Pat showed up at a practice and handed Brendan a Dominic Hasek goalie jersey that I don't know where he had come up with it, but and Brendan to this day still has that and remember that. So he was real good with a lot of kids like that.
He was, as I understand, a scrappy kid from South Buffalo. But I mean, was he in your face at all? Was
Pat?
he in your kitchen, senior?
Yeah, no, never.
Play him more, do this, do that?
Never. No. Interesting story, if we got time to go into about a minute story, just to tell you. Squirt major, or Mike major year, I didn't know Pat from, John Smith. And he showed up at my tryout at West Seneca for the Mike major team. And he skated and tried out, and we at the end of the practice said, okay kids, if I call your name out, have your mom or dad see me before they leave the rink today. Make sure they see me. Pat was obviously at 7 or 8 years old, notch above the rest. He could skate and handle the puck. He was a good little player. Wasn't ready for the NHL, but like some of the other kids at that age. So he never showed up after the Pat Senior, I should say, never came into the office to talk to me about spotting the team. So I got home and I called him and said, hey, my name's Kevin Kerr, I'm the head coach at the West Seneca team, and your son was out to try out, and I liked him, and I would have a spot for him on the team. Are you interested? And he said, well, he's doing the typical parent thing then. We're just looking for some ice, and we're not sure where we want to play. And so well, that's fine. I understand that. I appreciate that, and I respect that. And but I'm going to fill my team up by 5 o'clock today. It's now 3 o'clock. So.
Oh wow! Ultimatum.
I did that. So I said, Mr. Kane, you have 2 hours to get back to me. Then the spot goes to the next guy in line.
Wow.
So you have to. I'll be back at the rink because I'm meeting some other people there. If you're there by 5, we'll sign the paperwork and you're with the West Seneca team. If you're not there by 5, bringing somebody else in for the spot. So
nice.
I almost made a very huge mistake there. Thank God, Pat showed up at 5 p.m. with his son and was good to go. And then we stayed together for the next 5 years or so. We played together up until Pat left to go off to Detroit to play Downs, I think. You had mentioned earlier about just wondering all through the years if he was good enough to play at the next level, good enough. And there was a lot of jealousies. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of folks said, well, wait till he gets to Pee-wee and he starts getting hit. And then he got the Pee-wee and you couldn't knock him off his skates because he was pretty darn strong on his skates and a good skater. And then it was, well, wait till the puberty kicks in and then these Bantam and these guys are going to be really knocking him around, and that didn't happen. Just got better. And the same thing, even when he went to the U.S. National Development Program, there were still the naysayers saying, oh, he can't possibly succeed at this level. Those guys are men, and he's a young guy, and he's little. And he went on to be, at the time, the all-time scorer for 2 years with that program. And even there were the naysayers, even when he got drafted first overall, that, oh, it's the NHL, he's never going to make it there. So I think for the most part, everybody wanted to see him do well and succeed like they did lots of other guys.
Right.
But there was always those jealousies as well, that people didn't want to see him succeed.
Right.
For whatever reason. And I don't know why. His family was always good and supportive. Pat was always a good kid to play with. Players liked him.
Yeah, for sure.
He was
good to all.
He was a pretty quiet kid. I mean, he was just a quiet, respectable kid.
Yeah. Kevin, we were talking a little bit about other kids, and they were skilled and they were industrious and they had a lot of good qualities. I'll go on record, and I don't think people could dispute, there were probably, at the time coming up through, there were 30 kids who were 88s who were bigger than Patrick Kane. There were 30 kids who were stronger than Patrick Kane. There were 30 kids who could shoot the puck harder than Patrick Kane,
Yeah, so, you look back and you think that there were players that you coached or had on your teams or knew of that you thought were going to be the real deal because they either were physically mature at that 13, 14 years old and had a pretty good package. They could shoot, they could skate, they could move the puck, they were physical, they had heart, and they just stopped maybe growing or just lost the desire to continue to work hard. At 13, 14, you're just starting to blossom a little bit, and then you don't know. That's where the real work begins. If you really want to, in my opinion, intend to want to be a hockey player, when you hit 13, 14, you got to start really dedicating yourself to working out and starting to get in shape and eating right. It's a total commitment. And that's where Pat really took off too. He was a great mite, squirt, pee-wee player, and when he got to playing Bantams and moved on to the NTDP program, he dedicated himself to being the player that he is now, and that's where what made the difference in a lot of players, that they had the commitment to the sport, they had the love for the sport, they knew what they wanted to do. I don't think Pat ever wanted to do anything else than be a hockey player.
But what advice would you have to parents, in terms of?
I would say, get them to the rink, be supportive, let them have fun. Don't be the coach in the car on the way home or the way to the rink. Leave that to the guys on the ice. Just be a supportive parents. Give them the opportunities. Don't push them if they don't like. They'll find their niche, whether it's tennis or baseball or volleyball or whatever it is, acting in the school plays. Just be supportive of whatever they want to do, and let them have fun, and be there for them when they need you. Cheer them on. That's what I would recommend. If you have the ability to do so, provide them the opportunities to get into clinics and schools and hockey schools and that kind of stuff. But you know, let them, when summer rolls around, maybe it's not okay to play a little bit of hockey, and that seems what everybody does now. And you need to do to keep up with the Joneses, but let them play tennis, let them swim, let them hang with their friends, let them sleep in late sometimes. I mean, it's all part of growing up. It's all part of being a total package. You don't want to burn them out either. So there's a fine line, fine line there.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Good.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, John.
Thanks
Appreciate
for all
it.
your years of service to Western New York hockey and sharing some of your thoughts with parents up and coming. So,
Good.
appreciate it.
Thank you.